Welcome to the Shirts and Skins podcast. We are your hosts, Tori, Devin, Josh. Fellas, we are closing in on our 45th episode. We're hitting 44 right now. How's it feel?
Feels excellent.
Finally, hopefully this time we're going to have some video up so we can be on YouTube with y'all. Catch everyone on that platform as well. Let's start, as we're going to get through into the Olympics, let's start with congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks, that entire state, that franchise, Giannis Antetokounmpo, those boys who managed to not only keep most of their core together, mainly below top 15 draft picks, re-signed the megastar, the two-time MVP, brought it home as the finals MVP. Fellas, do you have any closing thoughts on the NBA championship of 2021?
Shocked, surprised, upset with my terrible prediction that obviously didn't pan out, as I said Suns in 7 and argued how it's going to go to 7, and
I had him in 6.
looked like a fool. Thanks,
I knew
guys.
the East was going to win.
All your teams were in the West.
No, but I said the Nets were going to win.
Wrong.
Yeah. So I knew the East was still going to come out on top. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I feel like I was
Yeah,
right.
I mean, by default, it goes whoever's in the East, I guess.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and you know what I mean?
I don't
Like,
agree with you, but yeah, I mean,
At the end of the day, Milwaukee beat the Nets, and the Nets were going to win. So, right? That's how that works?
Yeah, that's kind of how that works. The paper champion that you just keep following
Yeah.
game after game.
2022 Milwaukee's Bucks fan right here.
Real quick, we might have completely sabotaged. This was like the March Madness version of the NBA this year, though, like picking who was going to go to the finals, who
Yeah.
ended up there, and who won. Come on. Everyone be honest with yourselves. Bucks, Suns, no way.
unless you're a fan, and even then you were like, you're saying it because you're a fan of the team, not because you truly believe they're going to be there.
Yeah, I've seen one Twitter comment posted like 3 years ago that said it would be Bucks and Suns. So that person, big props, big shout out to them.
Are we sure that's even legit, or was that like a little editing the timestamp?
It could have been doctored. Hard to say. What I will say though, go ahead.
I feel like we were all Suns fans for like the first 2 games. And then we're all like, oh, you know, Suns got this. And then the Bucks started winning, and we're like, oh yeah, the Bucks got this.
Yeah, after it was tied up 2-2, it was kind of like, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
the Bucks are a different beast. But this year's finals, it was, can we say it was like the people's finals, where it wasn't like the Lakers where everyone was either pro or anti-LeBron, and it wasn't KD's Nets and, you know, how they made a super team overnight. It was CP3 and Giannis. It was a savvy veteran who had, through injuries mainly, not been able to even compete in the finals yet. And then we had the young up-and-coming star who had done everything so far in the league other than get to a finals.
Definitely. No, you wasn't that team you hate this year. The player you hate, we'll say.
Yeah,
Well,
like
it was competitive. It was competitive too,
Yeah.
though. Like, even though the Bucks won 4 games in a row, I feel like there was only the one game that the Suns won by like almost 20 points, and I was like, okay, Suns are really going to take this. And then once it went back to Milwaukee, we're like, well, Milwaukee's still, you know, the win in Milwaukee, that's a different animal. And then they just figured it out, man. They just figured it out, and it was still competitive across the board. There was still times where it looked like Suns were going to take it, and then they just let Milwaukee come back. There was a time where the Suns were up by like 18, 20 points in the first quarter, second quarter, and you're like, oh, man, okay, they're back. And then they just let the game get out from under them. And it happened repeatedly, and it was back and forth, though. It was good, but Milwaukee just, if you want to call it a free throw series, like, the free throws killed them. Fouls killed them.
Giannis hit.
Yeah, and
That was the
difference.
difference. Yeah, it was like, it doesn't even matter if you foul the guy, except when the problem is that he's making 17 of 19 of them.
Exactly.
Now that becomes your downfall. To your point, Devin, I really feel like probably about game 4, both teams had kind of figured each other out. And then from then on, it was just who's going to produce more on what side. I really feel like they both had each other figured out pretty well. It just came down to execution at that point.
It makes it overall great series. I would like to see something like that again, but I mean, next year we'll see, barring injuries. You kind of have those
we still got
favorites.
trades going, and who's going to go where, and
I mean, these 2 teams won't be there, but hopefully we can have someone like this.
they'll be in the playoffs. And you know, this is luck of the
Will
draw.
the Suns?
I believe even if
West
they,
is deep.
I believe you still got the playing game now. That's the whole game changer. Even if Chris Paul don't re-sign, I feel like
He's gone.
I think he's going to.
New York's going to pony up for him.
I don't think
Or-
he's going to New York.
I think he's going to go to LA. They're going to bring Carmelo. You're going to get the whole banana boat crew going on. Like,
I hope. I mean, I would love to see it. Don't get me wrong. But as far as that actually producing to an NBA title,
Oh, it
I
won't.
think that boat has sailed on that. I just
I feel
think
like
the
that
age-
team, if they put that together, that'd probably beat our USA team right now.
Oh man! And all right, so we got one. We can't drop one more game, but what I will say, closing thoughts on the Bucks finals, real quick. The Bucks winning the NBA championship. That was the lowest 3-point percentage that any team in the last 11 years had shot, and actually still won the title. And analytically, it's not. You almost shouldn't even be shooting that shot at all anymore if you're shooting that low. It was below league average. It was far below league average. And what I really feel like it came down to is they loaded up on the defensive end as opposed to
Right.
opening up and trying to get their legs under them to shoot the 3-point shot. So extremely impressive that they were able to pull that off.
yeah.
Well, they fed Giannis, and he was a deciding factor. Obviously, you know what I mean. He just kept driving, and if he was getting fouled, if you're getting almost 20 points on the line, you're putting up 40 points a game, 50 points a game.
What does that mean that they just let him run HB smash?
Yeah, HB
over and
smash.
over all season long, all
Yeah.
playoff slog.
You can't stop it.
Yeah, once he got to the free throw line, like, you ain't stopping that man.
Well, and
It's,
listen,
it's 2 strides and he's at the rim easily.
2 steps, a Euro step from a 7-footer who plays on the perimeter. Like, and again, like you go through league history, if you're going to be a contender or compete for the finals, compete for the championship, you predominantly have to have a big guy, and that big guy needs to be the best player on your team. And so, I mean, you start from the beginning like the George Mikens, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and then you throw in 6'9" Magic Johnson, who's a guard. So he's on the perimeter, and then you got Larry Bird. He's a big wing. In between the years of MJ, you had Hakeem Olajuwon, then you had Shaq, you had Duncan. Then you have the LeBron, KDs, and Giannis's who are big perimeter players. And Giannis is putting a 50 burger on him and grabbing 13 rebounds at the same time. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
What that man did in Game 6 was unheard of. Phenomenal performance in a big-time game.
And he has the defense to go with it. And he played
Defensive Player of the Year.
He played great defense. And let's not knock that. I mean, Chris Paul kind of got showed up by Drew Holiday, and
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean. And
Drew Holiday's no scrub on defense.
and he tightened up. And the one deciding factor is you got to give Holiday his props, because I think it was game 3 or 4. Game 3 or 4, I believe he went off for 25 points, and he was nowhere to be found the series before, and he was nowhere to be found the first 2-3
No,
games.
he was shooting 35%.
Yeah, and we hit on that, and we
And
hit on
shooting
that.
20 shots at the same time. Like, that cannot go
Yeah,
together.
and so he finally had a game when they needed him most, and it just seemed like it went Milwaukee. Even Giannis's injury, like that could have been way worse than what it
It
was.
should have been way worse.
And
And he played through that, yeah.
it's just the way the injuries went through this year. Even Leonard going down, Anthony Davis going down, the whole net squad, just whatever happened to Irving, and it's just it went their way, and that's what you need. And
That's
even as
exactly
we're
the
going
bounces and the breaks go your way.
yeah, even we're going into fantasy
This
football and
playoffs
all
was a
that
war of
stuff.
attrition.
It goes to injuries, and we can always say, even in the Super Bowl, the line and they have injuries. There's always, and it plays a part in it. And you have to know it plays a part in it, and it's not an excuse if I'm sitting here looking at a roster and it says injury, or this person's not playing, or this, like, especially if
it
it's
can be a
star
reason.
player, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I think the Bucks should have been there last year. You know what I mean?
Right.
So for them to come back, get it this year.
I agree.
Will they come back next year? I think they'll be there. I think
be in the mix.
I think even if Chris Paul don't show up, I think the Suns will be there, but I don't think they'll go as deep as the Bucks. But the Bucks will definitely be there. They'll have a good record.
The Bucks should be in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Nets. That's what should happen. Josh, you shaking your head?
It's going to be the 76ers.
Yeah, 76ers.
They're going to get rid of Simmons and bring somebody in that can actually help out, and they're going to be better
Dame?
just from that.
Deal? It could happen.
Westbrook.
Watch out for the end.
We'll see.
He might go to the Lakers. They're talking about. So that'll be another fun off season to follow. NBA offseason is going to be ridiculous. Like it always.
Draft is coming up in the NBA.
Draft is coming up.
You got some trade talks coming up. It should be interesting.
To the Pistons, they better not trade that pick.
Be fools.
They better not. But there's already one on the table. So again, it never stops with the NBA.
They better
offseason.
blow them away. If you better get some big things for that if you give that pick up.
Yeah, it came from OKC. It was SGA and 2 picks. That's not enough.
No.
That's not enough. All right, moving on to the Olympics. Right now, as we're recording this, Tuesday, 6:30?
I believe it's 7:30, sir.
7:30? I don't know what's going on. In total medals, USA is up, barely, and we're just behind Japan, 9 golds to 10. Now, transitioning that, still with basketball.
The scary USA men's team losing to France.
Fournier!
So let me just ask you guys.
Fournier, Batum.
Come on, man.
Let me ask you guys a question. Because they're saying, well, it's in it, and I'll agree here. It is different now because these teams are better. There are much better teams than what it was in the 90s.
Where the best foreign player was arguably Tony Kukoc.
Right. So you have these European teams that are all getting better. Look how many European players we have that are stars in the game.
Luka just dropped 40 plus. They got Rudy Gobert.
Devin, we talked about this today.
That's a player of the year.
Luka by himself scored more than it's what Durant, Lillard,
Lillard, KD, like Levine,
just embarrassing.
Holiday, all of them. They scored 47. He scored 48 by himself.
And let me just say this real quick. So we mentioned some of those names already. You know who's not playing for their foreign team right now? Giannis.
Yeah.
The 2-time MVP and this year's finals.
And that's what I told him. I was like, you can't really knock LeBron for not playing. I mean, he's
37.
Yeah, he's 37.
He also is battling injuries throughout this entire season.
Injuries. He's shooting movies right now.
He's won his 2 golds.
He's been there, done that. But I feel like Steph should have been there. I feel like
That'd have been nice.
I feel like not having Beal, which Beal said he wanted to play for US, like he wanted to be there. It sucks that he had to go home. I feel sorry for that man because there's people out here that are I don't want to say they're taking their stand in a different way for their beliefs, and this man wanted to go out here and show out for the United States. And there's some people out here who aren't showing out for their country, not showing out, or even when they are showing out, they're doing a protest or whatever it may have you. When the Olympics are different, man. It's like the Olympics is like you're the face of your country right now. And for Beal, who wanted to be there, to get taken out, I feel sorry for him. And I feel like, where's your Westbrooks at? Where's your Steph at right now? Where's your, you know what I mean? Like,
listen, they got KD.
We have plenty of talent as is.
They got KD, they got Lillard. Like, you got too many.
We should be fine.
You got plenty of scores that we should be doing way better than we are. And they play Iraq next. Iran. I think it's maybe Iran. I'm sorry.
Is it?
Iraq, Iran. One of them two. Either way, we should not lose to them. There is no reason for the United States to lose to them. We shouldn't lose to France, but we did. Now we have no business losing here. That needs to be the wake-up call for Team USA to say, holy crap, we need to come together as a team.
Well, there's a big thing out right now is Drew Holiday showed out being a Buck, and now Booker's on a 5-game losing streak.
Yeah.
So he just got there, and here we are. He lost 4 in a row in the championship. Now he just lost another one to France.
The talent that we have being coached by the
GOAT
coach, if not second, depending on where you fall with the talent that each, we can go down that road another time. But, I mean, again, another guy that's not playing, Joel Embiid, he's not playing for his country right now. That should help us out. Nikola Jokic, this year's MVP, not playing for his country. These teams are deep, but we still have so much talent. Again, that should be the wake-up call.
I just feel like they're playing for more pride for their country.
Absolutely.
Than what we seem to be.
Absolutely.
It seems like we're trying to show out.
I feel like USA is
trying to win.
Right, we're so egotistical here, thinking automatically we're the better team. Like we go into already knowing we're the better team, and they're proving that they're not.
Gone are the days of the dream teams and the redeem teams.
Well, see,
These other countries are showing up. They're playing.
what's crazy to me is
they
like
have talent, they
KD's
have
been there
depth.
before.
Yeah.
KD's been there before.
He's got
Like
his golds too.
some of these guys have already been there. Draymond's been there before. It's like they're having like a rude awakening that these guys will foul you. Like foul you. Like there is no easy baskets in this.
Right.
And I don't know, man. Is that showing like what kind of league we are right now? Like
We're a little softer.
yeah, you know what I mean? We got some size, we got this, athletic ability, but when that athletic ability like gets hit by a truck over and over again by different countrymen who just
You're
are
just not used to
actual
that
goons,
physical play
like
anymore.
straight up like goons who just come out here and they're the foul guys.
They're coming in because they have 6 fouls to give, and they're going to give all 6 fouls.
And your wide open 3-point shots aren't falling.
Yes.
Now you have a problem.
Like watching the France game near the end of the game, they had 2 wide open threes, and both of them just rimmed out. And I'm like, that's what you don't need, because that was that momentum swing. If you would have hit that, that's the nail on the coffin. You're
Yeah.
good.
And you leave it open for Evan Fournier to drop a 28 piece on you.
And he balled out.
Who?
Again, I felt like I already said that on our Shirts and Skins Facebook page. I was playing my NBA 2K season. Evan Fournier dropped a 30 piece on me, and I nearly broke the game. Nearly deleted that entire franchise and started over. 2 days later, that man does the same thing to Team USA. Are you kidding me, man?
So listen, I
My
need you to get on
apologies,
there.
Evan Fournier. I see you out there balling.
I need you to get on there and play as KD and go out for a 50 burger. So maybe he can go out for a 50 burger for Team USA.
He'd have to do that to me in order to keep the pattern going. Because right now, but yeah, something needs to change. Maybe it is me. Maybe it is on my end. All right, let's transition now. So in last week's podcast, during the NFL, we're going to do division by division and how we see it unfolding in this new NFL season. So we did the AFC East.
No, AFC North.
North, sorry.
Yeah.
I forget whose team is over there, so it's a forgettable division. Yeah. We're going to do the NFC East and jump over there. Devin, what do you got for us?
All right, so we tried to do our video for the first time last week, and we had technical difficulties, which we had a couple different times.
We threw some stuff.
And we threw some stuff. That's very true.
We get a little
And
around here.
we did the AFC North. We decided to do the AFC North and then the NFC East because that's the Hall of Fame game between the Cowboys and Steelers.
Yes, it
and
is.
it just so happens, me being a Steelers fan, that it just worked out that way.
You didn't plan.
We've been on, Anchor, iHeartRadio, iTunes. We keep posting these episodes out, but now we're doing the video, and now we're going to go from the AFC North to the NFC East. And we got Dak coming back.
Yes, we do.
We got our boy Fitzmagic at
Taking
the
over
football team.
For the first time in his career where he doesn't have to, he's actually the guy.
He's the guy, man.
He's
No one
always
thought he was in Miami.
He's always got to think about that guy behind him. And now he's finally the guy.
I feel like he didn't have to in Buffalo, though.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the one other time where he didn't have to.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, he was the gunslinger them too.
But they pulled him out plenty of times, too, when he was there. You got Saquon coming back from injury.
That'll help him out.
Eagles are tightening up their cornerback game, tightening up their line. We're going to see what Hurts is going to do.
Yeah, they're going to need to tighten up that line for him. He's going to be running a
We're
lot.
going to see what Hurts is going to do. If Dak comes back and he has no doubt that his legs are underneath him, the Cowboys should take this division. They should. They got a lot of hype going on to them right now. I like the football team, man. I think the football team with their defense, their corners, their D line, their offensive line, their wideout, McCollin. I think Fitzmagic can at least give them what they need. Yeah, he'll turn the ball over a little bit, but he's not scared to throw it. I think that's what they needed last year. Yep. They'll have a run game. I think it's going to go football team, Cowboys, Philly, then Giants. That's how I see that division unfolding. I hope Barkley shows out for fantasy implications because he's been missed. He's a great dynamic player. The game needs him. I hope the Giants do something. I hope the Eagles finish last. I wish the Cowboys and the Eagles could both finish last together. But I see the football team taking that division.
I'm glad you said that about the football team because I was getting ready to throw an argument at you that actually top-down talent-wise, especially what we've seen last year, that they might be the team to do it. Josh, what are your thoughts on that?
So the problem with the football team where they are lacking is where you also talked about is Fitzpatrick. You know he's going to have that game where he has 5 touchdowns, but he's going to have that same game where he throws 5 turnovers.
Oh, so they'll be 1-1.
So he's going to be the he's going to be the death of them.
Yeah, exactly. You got
to
an
watch.
extra game. That's where you play it out. That one more game.
I hate saying Cowboys as well because I do think the Cowboys are going to be a better team.
On paper, it seems like they always have
They
some
improved
kind
the
of
defense,
they improved the defense. You know what I mean? Yeah.
but they have one of the best wide receiver cores.
They have one of the best wide receiver cores. If Dak can show something,
I think it really comes down to Dak completely.
well, it comes down to that O line too. That
He has
O
to
line is
come
not
back
what
healthy.
that O line is what it used to be.
But again, that should be better than what it has been as well.
No doubt, no doubt.
Zeke's coming into training camp in impressive shape. The guy looks just ripped instead of being the little, feed me fat boy that he's been for the past 2 years
Big
or so.
chungus.
So he's coming in just looking slim, looking ready to go. Hopefully he can do something. I mean, he has Pollard on his heels. That's the thing. I think he's realizing that this guy kind of outshined
Yeah,
him
he's
last
hungry.
year.
Yeah, he's hungry.
So he came into this one thinking, okay, I got to get my job back. He got paid and kind of relaxed a little bit. And now he's like, wait, Pollard looked better than I do. Now I need to step up. My dark horse team, the team that I think is going to surprise some people is the Giants.
The New York Football Giants.
I think Danny Dimes is finally, I'm hoping, I want him to finally have the year.
I said it last year. I'm not going to get roped in again. But please talk.
I'm going to get roped in again because
Talk
last year
into
I'm on the bandwagon. This year I'm on the bandwagon. They brought in Kenny Galladay. They drafted a receiver. I can't remember what the kid's name is. Saquon should come back healthy. Like they're slowly bringing him in.
That's a game changer, man. You get Saquon.
That's what kills you last year. You don't have your running back, and the running backs behind him were trash. That destroys your team. Evan Ingram over there still a good tight end.
Great tight end.
They brought in
not the best blocker, but
they brought in Kyle Rudolph to help out with that aspect of things. They improved their defense as well. They brought in some pieces. Like I think they're going to be a team given the chance if again, big if, because he hasn't proved it yet, but Danny Dimes.
Wheels.
Please come through and shine. I had high hopes last year with this. I think, and again, like you're saying, I think the Eagles will be the bottom of that division. I have zero faith in Hurts at all.
I'm on the fence about Hurts. I see some big play potential there for him, but I am worried about the consistency. I'm worried about the line. I'm worried about
his
build.
size. Exactly. He's so tiny that I'm like, bro, these guys are gonna want to just kill that
Now,
kid.
he's young, so he can put on some size, and we've seen far lesser physical specimens have very long years in the NFL. But I am
his
worried about
gameplay
his
also.
stature. Yeah,
The way he plays, his style is getting out of the pocket and moving a lot, which means hits.
I would love for Philly to surprise everyone and be really good this year. Again, I'm with Josh. When we started last year's NFL preseason, the 2 quarterbacks that I thought would take the biggest leaps were going to be Josh Allen. Bam! Thank you, Josh Allen. That was great. That made me feel really good. And then it got balanced out by Danny Dimes. So I really am hopeful for him, but it's just one of those things that if it happens, I'm going to feel really good about it. I'm going to feel good for him, feel good for the New York fan base, but I cannot have them up there. It's got to be the Cowboys brand that keeps making me think that they're going to be better than what they are. And then every of the last few years keeps happening. And here I am again. I wanted to make an argument for the football team. I feel like, they're going to be sexy with Fitzmagic back there. They really are. It's going to be entertaining games to watch no matter who they go up against. I am going to take the Cowboys, Zeke, Prescott, that wide receiver core, and I think they're going to show us something on defense this time. You have that added game. I think that might be the game changer on how this whole division balances out between the football team and the Cowboys. That's where I'm at on that. Do you guys have any rebuttals? Anything else you want to throw in about the division?
If we could get rid of that division, that'd be cool too. The whole division, you know what I mean? It's kind of just one of those things.
No, you
NFC
can't, because
least.
Even last year, that was such an exciting division to watch.
It was, and I think
Just because of how bad they all were, it was still entertaining.
the Redskins' defense is just stacked. Like, they have an incredible defense. I think that's what's going to keep them around for the most part. As long as Fitz doesn't go full Fitz magic. No, I mean, more. We want Fitz magic, not Fitz tragic.
Well, and let's see, last year during the playoff run, football team they were a top 10 NFL defense. Were they, I want to say, fourth?
No, they were top 5 for sure.
Yeah, definitely top 5. And they actually held the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the fewest scored points in that whole postseason
You
run
had,
that they
what,
had.
Taylor Heineken
You had
in there as
Heineken.
your quarterback. Obviously, against that defense, you have a guy that's never really
Crack open a few Heinekens for him.
The guy that's never played goes in against that defense. It didn't play bad. Like the football
As
team.
well as you could ask.
Listen, when you have that pressure, you can ask the Giants themselves. That's how you beat Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And that's how you win games. So if Dak isn't mobile and you're going to have Hurts who can be mobile but can't throw, then you got Danny Dimes who he's a little mobile.
He's got to control turnovers as well.
Got to. Fumbles, turnovers, stay on your feet when you're running on the open field.
Hey, man, that man was hauling.
The turf monster.
Faster than his body could even handle. I feel like I saw his quads just burning right around his jerseys.
I just think it's the football team division at this time, but the Cowgirls are ready to go. They are
America's team.
I mean,
I just want to see Jerry Jones'
say in
reaction
the Hall of
if the
Fame
Cowboys
game,
are
America's
really good.
team is playing in the Hall of Fame game, but it's not Dallas. So, that's America's team. Like I said, that division itself, I'm just not a big fan of that division. I mean, we could put it on video now. If you're a Philly, Cowboys, Patriots, I mean, it's just like, those are hard to watch.
It's funny to me the hate you have for the teams that aren't in the
Sports
division compared to the teams that are in your division. Like,
I know.
you don't hate your in division guys.
It's hard to be when
Is it because they suck?
No, so like when you're just dominant, you know what I mean? When you're just dominant all the time, you can't really have the hate for that division, you know what I mean? And then like me growing up being such a Hurricane fan and having to go against Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, it's like I can't hate the Ravens, like passionately hate them. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, when the Steelers play any other team, I'm going to root for the Steelers. But
as long as they don't play the Browns,
I mean,
because now we're looking at dominance.
No, the Browns. We can't.
I saw
hate
what
the
happened
Browns.
last year. We can't avoid that.
I'm almost 28 years old.
You were dominant for the first 11 games of the season, and then what happened?
Listen, I've been hoping the Browns do something. So for the people who are 40 years deep in the Browns fan, it's like, well, look at the time. You know what I mean? I'm glad they're doing something
Finally
now.
decided to show up.
Right, the
No
Bengals.
time like the present.
Bro, I seen a post. It was like, the Bengals have never sent out a text message that they won a playoff game. So how can you, as a Steelers
At
fan,
least a Facebook post. I did see that.
yeah. So like, as a Steelers fan, it's like, what are we talking about here? The Ravens? You know what I mean? Like, I don't like the Ravens, but like, I always liked Ray Lewis and Ed Reed.
See, I can't get behind what you're saying there because.
Well, see, you're a Raiders fan.
But listen,
there's not
so-
a chance.
Yeah, he doesn't have any beef with
There's no
anybody,
hope.
really.
There's no
Nothing
hope.
that could stand on its own.
I hate the Patriots. Despise the Patriots. But I love Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
Michigan.
Love that guy.
Michigan.
Yeah.
He's.
Asterisks. You like asterisks.
Michigan.
You know what I mean?
I like goats and I like Michigan guys.
You know what I mean?
You know, hail to the victors. That's what we're talking
like-
about here.
I like to have some kind of argument, and that's what you're saying. Like, oh, there's an argument.
You don't like to argue.
No, I don't. This man does. Because I like to talk about how, you have spy gates and lost cell phones and deflated footballs and, I didn't know I couldn't videotape other people's practices. But look at Houston Astros. They're out here.
Listen.
They got...
And what are Houston
Fine,
Astros
man.
doing now? Houston Astros are still playing hot. And you know what else?
They already have all the
Patriots-
footage they need.
The Patriots still played hot, even after all their cheating. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I've said it once, said 1,000 times on this podcast.
Yeah.
Listen, man, every team's doing it. The Patriots just got caught. That's the difference.
At the same time, I'm not with it. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day,
Oh yeah, you're just like for stepping in front of players when they're on a kick.
Yeah, you just want to.
Mike Tomlin.
Whoa.
Huh?
Lost track of the line.
Oh yeah.
He's watching the big board and then throws that foot out there.
He hasn't been on a football field every day of his life.
Man.
He lost track of where the lines
Come
are.
on, man. The white and the green line. Come on, man.
They just blend together so well.
And we all have our excuses for when our team does wins.
Just
and
remember,
does well.
injuries play a role. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, excuses.
Yeah, don't step in front of him and cause one.
That's it. Allegedly. You know what I mean? Allegedly.
That's an allegedly. Talk that one to allegedly. All right, fellas. We got our fantasy leagues going on right now. Devin, you're hosting most of them. Tell us what you got.
So that's been a pleasure. So we're doing Shirts and Skins Fantasy League. It's been a blast getting everyone involved. Mostly on the Facebook group. Personal.
Join. Get your friends to join.
Yeah.
Get these leagues going.
Whether it's a personal friend or why that personal friend isn't on our Facebook group, I don't know.
Or some delinquents just like us.
More the merrier. I'll make a delinquent league. We could pay next year. For the most part, it's been fun. We're having it all set up. It's the first time. I want to continue this. I want to keep it going. We have other leagues that me and Josh have been a part of that
Don't matter as much.
they're not going to matter as much. But this means something to us. We want to be involved. We want you guys to be involved. Yes, it's for a little bit of cash. You know, nothing too fancy, nothing too great. But I want to.
That's what makes it more interesting. When you put that money on the line, it makes it a little more interesting. But like he's saying, it's more about trying to get the fans involved, get that interaction, get everyone kind of talking a little bit of trash back and forth. So this way, whenever we're playing each other, whenever me and Tori get to play each other, whenever Devin and I are playing each other, it brings that little more interest to the game.
Us? What are you talking about? I can't wait to see Travis and Paul Wicker and Joe Stumper. I mean, before this even kicked off, that gave an incentive for this to happen. As we were setting this up, I was like, there's 3 names that I need to be in this, and they all need to be in the same
And the
league.
beautiful part is, Paul Wicker texted me and told me he wants to be in with Joe Stumper. He didn't mention Travis, but he did mention Joe
Hell
Stumper.
yeah.
He was like, I want to be in the league with Joe Stumper. He's like, I need to be in the league with him.
Bragging rights, money rights. It's the place to be.
And when you're in fantasy football and you're real about it, that's why you don't hate all these teams, because you might have a Patriot, you might have a Cowgirl, you might have a Philly Eagle on your fan, you might
hate
have
the
a
Buccaneers,
Ravens,
but have 3 of them on your team.
and you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I wouldn't have any Houston Texans on my team. But all you Houston Texans fans, maybe that's what you want to do.
Though.
You know what I
Draft
mean?
rules you go by.
Hey.
Don't take a Texan.
At the end of the day,
year.
at the end of the day, someone's going to have them on your team.
Listen, Deshaun Watson, late round sleeper. Bring him on. I'll take him.
You can take them. 11th round.
back?
Yeah, 11th round. You can have them. Speaking of sleepers and what to do is, I was talking to Josh before actually you pulled up, Tori, and we have 2 rookie quarterbacks who haven't signed their contract yet. And I don't know where they're going to fall in the draft, or if we're even going to draft them, or how it's going to work, or even what rookie quarterbacks are going to draft. It's this time of year is when you have those rookies to take. Where do you take them? Like we were just talking about. And all jokingly, I think Najee Harris is going to be a beast, but is he going to be a first-round pick? No, this is just not going to happen. No. But if I get pick 10, will I pick him 11? I don't know. Maybe I will. You know what I mean? I don't know.
That might be a little black and yellow love
it has
there.
to, But at the end of the day, Nance and Zach Wilson haven't signed their rookie contract. And the posts I've been seeing are, once Lawrence signed his...
Yeah, the dominoes need to fall after that.
Right, like you already know what the peak is.
There's your bar, and then you come in underneath it. Like that's just how it is.
Value. That's where it's at.
Yeah, I believe every other rookie has came and signed their contract, and they're all at training camp.
Justin Fields.
Yep, he's signed. He's ready to go. Yep, he's signed, ready to go. He actually showed up before even rookie training camp, and he was out there. So that's what you want, especially from your rookies. But Zach Wilson, they haven't signed, and Nance hasn't signed. So
hey, where are you going to pick? Where are either you guys going to pick Gardner Minshew, who hasn't taken a number 2 because number 2s aren't an option? He's trying to be QB1.
Is so
where are you going to take him?
Amazing.
Yeah,
the legend keeps growing.
He is great for the league. I want him to stay in. I don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, they drafted Trevor Lawrence. He's going to be the guy.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Sorry, Gardner. Like,
Yeah,
I love you, but you ain't taking the spot from him.
you're
buddy.
going to be on the sideline.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead and drop that deuce because you're going to be.
yeah, go ahead and grab that clipboard.
You're
boss.
dropping a number 2.
Yeah. He could be some trade bait. He could be some trade bait for the Jaguars. He could be some.
It could be that
It could just be some reassurance.
a quarterback goes down,
Yep.
and you need a quarterback. This might be a guy you could bring in.
I don't know how hot or how big that name is that you would want him or.
Still not fantasy relevant, but
Yeah, no, not at all.
unless he goes to the perfect team.
Yeah, maybe if
he's-
you're in like a 20-man league, or double
dual quarterback.
Yeah, dual. But we're not gonna run no crazy nonsense like that. It's gonna be straight up. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait. I can't wait for the Hall of Fame game. I can't wait for the preseasons. Training camp is great to watch. I want to start seeing these dual practices. They're coming up. They're starting soon.
Aaron
It's good.
Rodgers is back in Green Bay.
Aaron Rodgers, he's signed.
Back for
It hasn't,
a year.
an
I don't
interesting
know-
move.
I don't know if he actually like they came out and said like his signing. I know it's just 1 year, but I don't know if they came out with a pay or what his
Right,
contract
it's not
details
like
are.
the way I understand. It's not a contract negotiation of any type that I understand. But basically, next year he's able to be a free agent. So I
Yeah, he
don't
can
know
leave
if-
on his own terms.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's going to be a trade thing that they're still going to try to work out, or if it's literally he just up and walks away and they get nothing from it.
Well, you're in the
I also
Kawhi
read.
Leonard
I don't know if
situation.
it is a trade because I also read something that like obviously he don't want to go anywhere where they're losing. So like they were like
No.
he wants a
does.
contender. No, he wants a contender, and how they were putting it is like.
I think he should go to San Francisco so he doesn't have to play San Francisco.
Well, even like before
Anymore.
we started, it was saying there was posts that basically in all 24/7 sports that
Yeah, every
next
team.
year, that includes the Bucks. It was like,
Oh, yeah.
that
It's
was
going
like,
to.
yeah, it was like Tom Brady. He said he's still going to play, but if Aaron Rodgers is out there, let's see what we can do. And I'm
Do you
sitting
get
here
Tom
like,
for one more year after
come
next
on,
year,
you know?
or do you give Aaron Rodgers
Steelers.
3
They said,
years?
this is kind of Ben's big ride, last ride.
You're
You
not
go
doing
there.
your job if you're not kicking the tires on
Right,
the idea.
yeah.
No matter
Every-
what franchise you are, it's worth kicking the tires on.
You're gonna say we're
Yeah,
interested.
Danny Dimes. You said Danny Dimes. They said if he
They're,
fails,
they're talking about they're talking about this year that he could go to the Giants if he doesn't shine.
I mean, yeah, the Buccaneers are going to be like, nah, Tom, we're not in it.
Listen.
Call him up. No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
What's happening over there?
Anywhere-
You hear anything back yet?
Yeah.
Anywhere but the dang donkeys, and I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Don't come over to the division. We don't need that.
Yeah, you don't need that.
Keep the bums you got, because if Rodgers comes to the division, we're gonna be screwed. Because then you got
already got Mahomes.
You got
for the next 10
Mahomes,
years.
who's looks like he's going to be the next greatest quarterback. Herbert, based off 1 year, looks like he's going to be great. And then you bring in Rodgers, who probably has another 5 years left in him. I mean, Carr's fantastic,
Oof.
but
He'll be number 4.
Yeah.
He's not even number 2.
Hey, he'll be top 4 in that division.
Yeah.
I mean he'll still maybe 3. So let's not go crazy on Herbert. Yeah, let's calm down with the Herbert love. It's been 1 year.
Well, they'll probably still have a better record than the Raiders, though. So
No, I don't know. They find a way to choke every year.
yeah. I think that was more of like a Phillip Rivers thing.
Yeah, I
see.
feel like that was a previous generation Chargers, but
Yeah.
before the new uniforms and the previous stadium. Now they're starting.
When they were gonna win, though, I really thought it was
culture.
I really thought it was gonna be when like they had LaDainian Tomlinson.
Well, whenever
Phillip
they
Rivers
had
was
the
peaking.
first overall offense and the
Gates.
first overall defense.
Yeah, I was like, dude,
worst
this.
special teams in the game.
Yeah. Oh man.
There's 3
What a-
phases, guys. There's 3 phases to football, man.
I felt so bad for LaDainian Tomlinson, man. That man was such a workhorse, and he was
I
just like,
loved it. FLT,
Yeah.
F. Antonio Gates, Phillip Rivers, all of them.
All those powder blue unis, though.
Still not as pretty as that silver
Fire.
and black. Silver and black is the top of the top, cream of the crop.
And that's one good thing about us is all of our teams kind of play each other this year. So we're gonna
Yeah,
see
they
you,
do.
you're gonna see you, we're gonna see you, we're gonna have
Hopefully you see Justin Fields and
Yeah.
not Andy Dalton.
yeah.
Hopefully that's what happens.
So we're gonna be out. We're hyped, man, and it's just that time where we're in the middle of the Olympics. We're trying to, being that it's in Tokyo, we're watching USA
It's
basketball
all-
at 7 in the morning.
But it's all it's all replay because it all
Oh,
happened the
yeah.
night before. Like I got an ESPN alert saying this already happened. I'm like, Well, I was gonna try to catch some of that tonight, but thanks, I already know the results.
I'm
Yeah.
running through the cut by cut highlights.
Yeah,
Like,
so
you know, just speed
and,
to the
and
game.
just with our schedules, man, you know, just trying to watch and
Like this weekend, it was all
Yeah.
Olympics for me. But now, I'm like, okay, I'm not even gonna try to keep up because it's too much. Come the weekend again, I'll be right back into it. You know, catching the end of the swimming and Olympics. Speaking of, Simone Biles out for
yeah, I
a lot
seen
of
they
some
won
controversy
silver.
behind it.
I didn't catch that. I know I seen it was like some mental or
So there was saying that she was hurt, but then other people are saying that it's basically the mental stress of it. Everything was just too much, so she kind of backed out.
and,
I've heard both.
and we got silver without her, and it was like she's the best gymnast alive right now. So
Yeah.
that's just one of those things. It's United States basketball team. We're the best out there.
we should
but-
be.
We should. I mean,
You know what I mean? But
for
we're
decades
not
we've been
there.
able
We're
to
not
just
there.
pocket
Our
away
top
a
5
gold
players.
medal for
You got what?
USA
KD there. You
because
got
of men's
KD
basketball.
there. Our top 5 players, and you got KD there. And who's to say KD's 100%?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
He's probably not.
he's probably not. But
we got Dame.
I respect that he's out there though, and I
Yeah.
respect that Dame's out there. I respect all those guys that went out there.
Yeah.
So
Especially in the last 2
and
years of
respect to those
basketball.
guys getting tatted with the Olympics, man. I think that's a big thing. If you're gonna get tattooed anything, going to the Olympics,
That's the best thing I've
do.
seen.
yeah.
You have like that's huge,
Huge.
man.
It's-
like if I was going to the Olympics, I would definitely be getting that done. Like that.
It's an awesome accomplishment. You can never take that
That's
away
gotta be
from
one of the
them.
biggest things you're able to
Yeah.
do in your
Well, and
life.
for some of these sports, it's the one and only time you'll be able to go at all.
And it's the only time you ever
Because
hear
you
of
age
these
out,
sports.
even if you're
Yeah.
like in your
Bro.
20s.
handball. Like I'm watching some ridiculous things.
I'm about
watching.
to watch some skateboarding. I'm here for that.
I already
Let's
watched
go.
skateboarding. I was watching skateboarding over the weekend. Like an American got third place in that. Chinese, it was a Japanese kid, a Brazilian, and then the American got third.
Yeah.
There was 2 Americans that were competing, and they just the last 3 tricks they couldn't hit them. But I was watching some skateboarding. I watched.
We had a local,
I watched some
we had a
fencing.
local Florida. What was it? Taekwondo or karate?
Taekwondo.
Yeah,
no, it was karate. It was karate. It was
Yeah,
karate.
That's right.
So from Largo, and she won gold.
What's crazy? There was an Alaskan that won gold in swimming.
Yeah.
I was very shocked by that. 'Cause I'm like,
A lot of indoor
you know,
swimming. You know
like
what I mean?
I wouldn't pick somebody from Alaska to be like the top swimmer.
Yeah. I'm not going outside.
But there was also
Not
a
swimming
minute.
outside.
But one of the other girls that was supposed to be like one of the best ones at 17 years old, she's now phenom already, is from Minnesota. Another place where I wouldn't like. I guess you have nothing else to do, so I was like, well, let me go ahead and swim because
Yeah, indoor swimming, man.
You ain't doing
Indoor
anything
swimming.
else.
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely.
That's
during those winter times, it's like, well, let me get inside and hit the pool because
Yeah, heated pool or whatever they got going on up there. You know, that's
I'll tell you what though, skateboarding, man, that's something like if you even look back, I remember how hyped I was when it was first pitched because I'm like, oh man, like it'd be so great. Like we already have Tony Hawk going against Bob Burnquist, who's from Brazil. Like skateboarding is so deep with talent from all of these countries. I'm so glad that it's finally here.
16-year-old, I think it was might have been a girl, 16 years old, won gold
Hell yeah.
in
Yeah.
skateboard.
yeah, I
Hell
seen that.
yeah.
Yeah, I
That
seen
was impressive. Like that's the kind of things with when it comes to the Olympics. Like I said, it's the sports and the things you don't never really think about or hear about. Water polo, one of the most ridiculously hard-looking sports I think I've ever watched. In a 6-foot pool, you can't touch the bottom of the pool.
Yeah.
So the entire game, you're just trying to bob on top of the water and catch this ball and try to like. I'm just watching this. I'm blown away by.
They have underwater cams,
They do.
like leveled out the flow. Oh, that's awesome.
I'm like, bro.
Toes.
It's so ridiculous watching these guys. But like this, anytime Olympics comes around is whenever you start watching these weird sports you would never see. Next Olympics, we get breakdancing.
Yeah. Like I said, they added five this year.
So it's going to be like,
Okay.
I already enjoy Olympics, winter, summer.
Listen,
Oh, it's always
you
good.
got the women's soccer.
Yeah.
No matter how you feel about certain political aspects of what these sports are doing, at the end of the day, you got women's. They're representing.
I'm still
us.
watching.
I'm watching it. We were
Oh,
just
hell yeah.
watching it. We were just watching it here a minute ago.
Right before we hit record.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, my USA chant is down. It's bar none. So at the end of the day, go USA. I'm for it, man, and I hope we lead. I hope we lead all medals. I hope we lead all golds. I don't care what sports we win. Obviously, you want USA to win. You want your country to win. And at the end of the day, we need our basketball team to win.
We really need
We need our basketball team to win.
I think softball, we just got silver.
Silver. So they made it to. I seen they made it.
They played Japan.
They actually didn't lose like a game all the way up to it.
They played Japan, and it was a really bad luck. I think it was 7th or 8th inning. They hit a ball. It comes off of the third base, like off her forearm, bounces up right into the shortstop's hands for like an incredible double play. And it's just like those are kind of bad breaks they kind of got for that.
Yeah.
So,
But like you go around and this is the first year softball
Team USA
came back
women's
since
basketball, killing.
I don't know when it left and now it came back. But then you got karate and we win that, and it's the first year of that. Then you have the first year we won fencing gold.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like you're not gonna win every sport. You know, it's just not gonna happen, dude. There's gonna be someone from somewhere else, and whether or not they even compete in the States, but they're just a different countryman.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we got first. Not 100% positive, but pretty positive. Skeet shooting, American lady got gold.
Here we go.
Perfect.
I'm like, but like
Don't run up in
basketball, basketball, baseball. We invented those sports.
Yeah.
We need to be the best at those. Come on.
Listen, I don't know if anyone wants to see Doncic right now.
No one.
So I'm gonna say like this: if USA don't win, then I hope Slovenia wins.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
right
a
there,
big
man.
Slovenia fan. Me and Josh both got our Doncic jersey. I have no ties to Dallas whatsoever. Josh had his little Dirk time in years previous. I have no ties to Dallas, but I think Doncic is.
You have no
an
ties
animal.
to Slovenia either.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I've been a Slovenia fan since. You know what I mean?
Listen, man, he did his 23andMe is at 1%. Slovenia.
Minimal 1%.
Full blood in that 1%.
It's my homies. But at the end of the day, I think Doncic, he's just a different breed, and I respect that he's going out there playing for his country and
Putting it in for his country.
And I think it was I don't know who it was when he scored the 48 points. It was like Argentina or Australia, or it was one of those teams. That was his old coach that he played for in the Europe League, and he was like, "I told you guys this man was going to be the next best thing."
Awesome.
And here he is. And he's still, what, 21, 22 years old?
Stupid young.
Yeah. So he's going to get better. And I respect it. I like going out and seeing the countries. Like I was telling you, I watched a little bit of boxing. Limp boxing is great. Limp boxing is great. You see these guys are going to be the next guys coming out. And, you know, whether it's IBF, WBO, whatever, they're going to come out and they're going to be Fox Sports boxing, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know, you're going
You
to
got
see
the
them on
Roy
pay-per-view,
Joneses and the Floyd Mayweathers that they
Yeah.
made their name in the Olympics.
So at the end of the day, like, this is where you see that young generation coming in, and you have to let the young generation come in. I think that's what the NBA did this year, is like some of the young guys come in, and it's like, young guys, don't let us down. You still got some of them vets, but it's like,
Changing of the guard, but yet they didn't want to bring in a Trey Young.
I know. I would have.
So, you
this
know,
team could really use a Trey Young. If
So
not
Morant-
Steph, a Trey Young.
Morant
John
came
Morant.
out. Morant came out and was
Yeah.
like, y'all didn't want me at first, so you think I'm gonna come in for Love or Beal
Yeah.
now? I'm good. And I'm like,
Which again, I like the fire, but then it's Team USA.
yeah.
Just
You're
because I
gonna
don't
put
take
a
you
pocket-
first doesn't mean that you don't come in and play
yeah.
for your
You know-
country.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. You know, I feel some type of way too, I guess.
Yeah.
But at the
I see
same
both
time,
sides to a degree.
you know, I don't know.
After that, he's
I
probably
like it.
He's probably
I like
afterwards being like, "Man, I wish I would have." But at that heat of the moment, you're like,
Yeah.
"Nah, f you guys."
So,
like, you disrespect me, I'm gonna disrespect
what he
you.
don't understand, and he's still young. You would have been known at a world level.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You hurt yourself.
Exactly. You did though.
you come in and shine, that puts you on another level.
Yeah.
You get that gold, and you be a major part of why you got that gold. Next level.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's just one of those things, and
Well,
I'm
mean-
glad for the Olympics right now to push us and hold us together for just a little bit longer until these first games start going. Training camp just starting to go. Just this is what we needed. This is what we needed. If we just started our podcast during the pandemic, it's been a rough time. Not want to say a rough time, but a rocky start for a time to start a sports podcast, but it's been fun. It's been different. It's been a total different atmosphere to sports, to bubbles, to no fans, to fans, to different aspects, to
We've been through it.
podcasting,
Yeah.
the videos. Our video's not working, audio not working. Me leaving, you
it's
leaving.
been a-
Let's leave. Oh man,
a trial.
It's been fun, and I like where we're headed. I like where we're headed, and it's good. It's good, man.
Closing in on our 50th episode and coming in on almost a year since we started the first episode of our podcast. So, fellas, it has been a ride, and it's been great. And I'm super pumped to start it on a new platform.
Yes, finally. Too long, but it's coming. Look for it. We got more steps. Soon it's going to be live. We're going to be coming at you guys live soon.
Sorry to introduce the world to these two guys next to me. I'm apologizing on their behalf. This has been Shirts and Skins, Tori, Devin, and Josh, and we'll see you next week.